Hello, Forecaster here again, and we are back for episode 18 of the Railcraft server Let's Play. And I'm here once again without Vexados because he's busy still. And I don't have anything particular to do in this episode, unfortunately, so I'm going to go through the things that I've done since the last one. So in the last one, we set up the reactor, and we then set up this word processing system, and that hasn't changed really. I've done a bunch of work elsewhere. For one, I built this little enchanting room in here, which is kind of makeshift still. You can see there's a sea of block here concealing a cable. But yeah, this is my little enchanting workshop. This table goes up to level 30, which is nice. I have this nice sword that has looting 3 and mending. I use that for hunting cyber zombies, which we'll get to shortly. Down here, the reactor has been slightly upgraded to use 6 fuel rods instead of 4, so it now outputs 100 EU per tick. We're burning through power pretty rapidly, it seems. Is the forge turned on? No. Okay. I'm not sure why we're using so much power then. Something is drawing power again. I'm not sure what, but it doesn't matter. I'll deal with that shortly. This setup here has kind of been dismantled because I needed the parts for other things. I had removed these 2 blocks, this kinetic generator and the fluid generator, or thermal kinetic generator, or whatever it was called, but I've since made new ones for it, and the reason for that was that I put this radioisotope heat generator here, and actually have a single can of RTG fuel for this, but I can't use it because this triggers updates in these 2 blocks like every tick or so, which kills your frame rate if you're down here or if you're nearby. Not sure how extensive it is, but if you're down here, my frame rate goes below 20, and it is kind of annoying, so I'm not using this yet. Hopefully that will be fixed eventually. Now, I still have these 2 solid fuel fireboxes here because I intend to set this up as a proper backup system for when the reactor runs out of power. So we'll have a supply of coal, and then when power runs low, and the idea would be to have this run and generate power constantly because it doesn't cost anything, to keep this topped off. And then if the drain is high enough so that this starts draining too much, I would have the coal generators engage to compensate, which would probably only happen if the reactor runs out of fuel. Now over here we have a blast furnace setup that I built, and it is pretty similar to the one I have in my single player Let's Play. But it doesn't use liquid fuel heaters. It uses electric heaters, so it runs off the reactor, like pretty much everything else. It's pretty simple, pretty much the same setup. Back here we have some cables. We have a transformer for the sorting machine, which can't run off of high voltage, which is what's in these gold cables. It can take medium voltage, so we fortunately just need 1 transformer. And then we have an MV transformer into an LV transformer, which goes to this sorting machine, which could take higher, but it will need low voltage for the compressor. The compressor, of course, is to produce the compressed air required by the blast furnaces. And then we have the two sorting machines, which are simply set up to take iron ingots in. It splits them between the blast furnaces, and it takes fluid cells as well, and it's set up to wait for 4 of them, and I have exactly 4 cells in here. They're currently sitting in each of the blast furnaces because they are full. So it's set up, the balance is perfect. When you input 4 ingots, they will go in, it will consume air, and then when this gets empty enough, when this cell empties, it will be ejected out into the sorting machine by the ejector upgrade. That sorting machine is set to send cells into here, and this is set up to send them into the compressor. Compressor ejects back down into the sorting machine. This will wait until it gets 4 of them, then send them to that sorting machine, which splits them into each of the blast furnaces again, keeping the system perfectly balanced. If you don't do this with the waiting for 4, all of the cells may end up in one machine, which I don't want. You could also put in more fluid cells, so you have enough to like more than a stack, which in this case would have to be more than 3 stacks to make sure that all the blast furnaces get them. But I kept it cheap with just 1 cell per blast furnace. In here, I built a little sauna, and this is the reason I salvaged the this generator setup before, and I have a heater from Tough as Nails, and this combined with the water does a pretty good job of heating you up fast up to a point. Now I also have this dispenser here, as you can see, and if you push this button, it will dispense hot spring water, and if you step into that, you get the regeneration effect. And I've also configured tan to have that water be slightly warm. Now I found out later on that anything that is considered water gives you a -7 temperature, I think it was. And unfortunately, I only set the hot spring water to have +1 or +1.5, I think, which is the same lava has. But so I might have to adjust that to compensate for that. I'm not sure why it doesn't appear to heat me up. If I was standing here and this was lava, I'm pretty sure I would be heating up more. But as you can see, the hot spring water doesn't last very long. It's a bit random, of course. Sometimes it takes quite a while, but it eventually turns back into water. But these 2 buckets here keep replenishing. And the reason for that, of course, is because I have a system back here designed to do just that. So we have a bottler here from forestry, because that was the only device I could find that was capable of filling hot spring water into buckets properly. I'm not sure why. The IC2 bottler didn't do the job correctly, I don't think. Pretty sure I tried that. Maybe I just checked JEI and this was the only one that showed that recipe, so I went for it. I don't quite remember. And then we have the dispenser behind this compact item buffer. The buffer is what pulls out the empty buckets and pulls the filled buckets out of the bottler and puts them back into the dispenser. Then we have a Stirling kinetic generator, is what it was called, which is powered by an electric heater with a single coil in it, because we don't need more than that. This runs off of a cable that goes over to the reactor setup, of course. And so this produces hot spring water, which is ejects into the bottler. It's applied by a pipe that goes over to the cart station over there. Then I also have a kinetic generator, which produces power from this, of course, which outputs into an MV transformer, which powers the bottler. And the transformer is just because I can't use a cable to connect to the bottler, because that doesn't work in this version. And I can't have the bottler next to this. That would have also worked, because it needs to be next to the Stirling kinetic generator. But yeah, that's this little setup. It's not, I don't really use this at the moment, because as I said, the heat from the hot spring water is not sufficient yet, and I've yet to take the time to adjust that. So this little alcove might look interesting, and this was quite an ordeal. It has my logo on it because I wanted something to fill this space, basically, and I wanted to try sculpting or designing something with chisel and bits. Turned out pretty well, I think. Not a super accurate representation. I would like some more resolution, but maybe some other time I can do that. And it has these curtains from Mal's doors, which are in front of it, which is pretty nice, and they conceal something. And that is a vault door. So we have a mod called multi-storage, and it's this I have open here. And it adds these neat stone storages, which I have one here, a dense one, which this will output the products of this, so steel and slag, into here. And it also adds vaults. And a vault is not a block. It is a multi-block structure that basically you build a room out of these vault wall blocks. And they have a limited size. This mod has a need for tooltips. The documentation isn't great. But you build a vault. It has to be at least 4 by 4 by 4, I think. In the interior, at least. And it can be at most 16 by 16 by 16. I think that may be the exterior size. I'm not entirely sure. There's some documentation on the download on CurseForge on the project page there. And then you leave a 2 by 2 hole like this, and you put a vault door in. Just a single one. And it will form a vault out of the wall blocks if you built it correctly when you put the door in. And what it does, it makes the wall blocks indestructible as well as the door. So you can't break into the vault unless you are in creative mode. Then you can break the blocks. But otherwise, the blocks are indestructible. You can't blow them up, and you can't break them by hand or with any tool, unless it's an incredibly cheaty tool, of course. So the vault can only be accessed by its owner. If you shift right click the door, you get an access control. You can also remove the vault door, which will disassemble the vault, allowing you to break it. And here you can have a whitelist of people that are allowed, or you could switch it to blacklist mode. Unfortunately, doing that doesn't allow you to switch back to whitelist mode. You can also set how it will handle intruders. I have it set to kill, so if you try to enter the vault when you don't have access, you'll get kicked out and get a warning, presumably. I haven't actually tried it. And if you try again, the vault will kill you. And my hope is if that happens, the body ends up inside the vault, which would be nice. Because if the vault kills you, you should do it on the inside. Now, if I right-click the door normally, I'm going to end up inside of the vault. So this is my vault. As you can see it, I moved all my ingots in here. I have a whole bunch of aluminium, which I've processed. It turns out that alumina is not useful on its own. It's a mid-step on the way to aluminium. Turns out there was an infuser recipe where you infused alumina with coal dust to get aluminium. And this isn't particularly useful right now, but it will have some uses with advanced rocketry later on. And then we have a bunch of spare stuff, empty storage drawers, which I don't have anything to put in. We have a bunch of empty stone lockers, which I also haven't put anything in. Some chests, some leftover vault stuff. The way you construct these vault blocks is you place iron scaffolds from IC2, and then you pour vault concrete on them, which is made from Railcraft concrete and water, basically. I use the carpenter recipe to make them, make most of them. And it will turn the scaffold into one of these vault blocks. Originally, it is iron bars you pour it over, but we've changed it to make it slightly more expensive and a lot more inconvenient to build because the scaffolds have strict placement rules. You have to place them on top of a solid block. And unfortunately, it turns out that these aren't solid, which is why the vault has a marble floor, because you can't place these ingots on a non-solid block. So what I had to do when I found that out was I had to disassemble my vault, then lower the floor by one so I could put in this marble floor so I could place stuff on it normally. I also made 4 vault doors because I thought that you had to fill the hole with blocks, because that's generally how multi-blocks work. But it turns out you only need 1, and they are pretty expensive. So now I have 3 spare ones. There's also a command block here, and you might be wondering about that. The reason for that is that I had an accident where I intended to clear the chat, so I typed /clear, forgetting that that was the command to clear your inventory. So I wiped my own inventory, which meant I had to restore from a backup, which fortunately wasn't made too long ago, but it was made between the backup and when I cleared my inventory. I'd moved some stuff. I had taken, when the backup was made, I was wearing a hazmat suit, and I'd put my nanosuit on the armor rack. And then after that, I had put the hazmat suit back on the armor stand and was wearing my nanosuit. Then I cleared my inventory, and when I restored myself to my character to the inventory or to the backup, I was now wearing the hazmat suit again. And on the armor stand in this base on the server was still the hazmat suit. So my nanosuit was gone, along with this sword, which I had done the same with, which I usually put that on in a sword stand in the workshop. So what I did was, since I had downloaded the world already to get my player file, I put it into my single player save folder and opened it in single player, and then went in there. There in my base, of course, the nanosuit was on the armor stand, and the sword was in the sword stand. And then I put those in a chest and then use the command to copy the contents of the chest into a string. And then I could use another command, or the same command rather, to get that, to paste that content into this chest on the server. So I basically imported my nanosuit, because I definitely didn't want to lose that to a mistake like that, or the sword. So I restored them back onto the server. I may have lost something else that had changed in my inventory, between my inventory and the world as well, but it's not something that I remember enough to worry about. So yeah, still have everything that was important, which was basically the sword and the nanosuit. So that, and I've left this here in case that happens to somebody else. So it might come in handy. And I put it in my vault, of course, to keep people from accessing it. Although you need to be in creative mode to use a command block, or to open a command block interface anyway. And I assure you that the command block doesn't have a command in it right now. I deleted that, so pushing the button doesn't actually do anything. Now, we have one thing to do in this episode, and my inventory is a little too cluttered right now to actually do it, so I'm going to dump some stuff here. Put that in there. This random junk can go in there. These can go away. Let's get rid of this stuff. So I want to make a charging Lapotron crystal. Let's dump some stuff here. And then we can put that in there, put that there, and dump these over here. Right. So I want to make a charging Lapotron crystal. Where did I put... Oh, I might have lost my crafting calculator. Actually, no, I shouldn't have lost that. I don't think I moved that out of my inventory. Where did I put that? Ah, okay, in here, apparently. Okay, so this is a charging Lapotron crystal. And if you can read these, it's quite expensive. But I've collected the materials already. At least I hope I have. And there's a bit of them. Oh yeah, wait, no. I have not. I actually need... we need to make some more cables. Which I've started here. Oh dear, I'm cold. Very, very cold. So if you don't know, the charging batteries basically let you store power in them, obviously, like a regular battery. But they can charge items in your inventory. And there are one for each tier, and making one of them requires 4 batteries from that tier, and for everything past tier 1 you need the previous tier. So that adds up quite a bit, as you can see. So I've been mining quite a bit to get the materials to continue this. Let's put this there for now, because why not? And I need... Is that 224? It's kind of hard to read. Let's see. I have an enlarged screenshot. Yeah, 224 cables. And I have almost 2 stacks. Okay, you can stop that now. So, need 4 more to complete the stack. And if we switch this to a regular calculator, 224 minus 64, 1 stack, then minus another stack, 96. So we need another stack. No, not that. And then unfortunately, I'm also going to need a bunch of more rubber, which might be a bit tricky. While you're doing that, let's go out and collect some more resin. I may need to make a more efficient... Oh, cyber's on me. Hello. Ouch. Oh, nice. Ooh, I want that component. And somebody picked it up, of course. Okay, this isn't what I intended. Not at all. Man, there are too many zombies here. And skeletons, of course. There's always too many skeletons. You have my HUD lens. I want that. I have something that makes me turn to face attacking enemies. Or if I get hit. Ow. Water. Okay. Dang it. This is not how I intended this to go. Okay. Right. Let's put some of this stuff away so I can pick up some of the stuff I actually want. And then, of course, I get a bunch of junk that I don't want as well. Like that. And that. Now let's go do what we were supposed to do to begin with. Why I came out here. And I completely forgot what I was talking about before. Dang it. That's frustrating. Oh yeah. I think I was talking about how I needed to make a more efficient resin farm. I would like to set up a forestry farm. I think would be a good solution, because we also need a steady supply of wood. Would be nice as well. So maybe we will do that next episode. I would also like to talk about cyberware a bit. You may notice up in the upper left corner there's a next to the IC2 overlay, there are some numbers, I should say, which are from cyberware, and that is because I have installed some upgrades in myself, which do a variety of useful things, like enable me to sprint faster, for example. Okay, So now in here we should have another stack. So here we can go minus another 64. Okay, so then we just need half a stack. Probably need more of that for that. And then we just need enough rubber to actually isolate all of these. And we have, unfortunately, run out of time. But I would very much like to complete this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to collect enough rubber to complete this. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you the assembling of it. And then we're going to end the episode. So I will see you shortly.
All right, so this is now done, I hope. And we should be set to make the battery now. Let's put this away somewhere. And these. They need space for the other stuff. Don't remember how much redstone was needed, but let's take out all of it. So, the process or procedure is obviously to make each stage of battery. Oh, right. We need the diamonds are for the energy crystals. Cheer noises. So we are going to need to macerate all of them. Diamond dust be excluded from there. So let's put those in there. In the meantime, oh yeah, need 16 tin item casings as well. I did not account for that. Let's get a cell. Get this copper out of here. And we need to put tin in. And then we need 16 item casings. I think we may need more tin. Yeah, definitely. That should do, though. So we need 16 of these for the batteries. Let's put that away again. So now we should be set to make 4 of these. For some reason, they don't stack when you pull them out like that. Then we need 4 of these. I don't know how many circuits we need in total. Does it say here? Let's see, procedure 32. So now we need 28 then, I think. So let's make those all at once. Like so. We have a bunch of this stuff left. Next up, we can make these, I guess. Should be pretty straightforward. We should need 4 of those. And that should be all we have the materials for. These do the same thing. Then we need 4 of these. Like that. And then we should be good to make one of these. And then for this, we're going to need another 4 of these. And then we need to upgrade. Wait. No, this. We need to upgrade those 4 to component heat exchangers. Then we are going to need the energy crystals. So we need to make a bunch of this. We can throw that in there. Want this to macerate faster. Okay, that's done. So we might as well take them, put it in there, and then make the rest. So we have 4 energy crystals for this. And then we need 8 of these, which is all we have the materials for. Perfect. Need 4 of those. And that should be... Oh. Oh. You can only make these one at a time, apparently. I think the insert doesn't support stacking the energy crystals, probably because they are wrong. Wait, what? Oh. Okay. It's a little weird. These inventory glitches. Right. So now we need to make 4 advanced heat exchangers, which takes 8 heat exchangers, which we of course have the materials for exactly. And then 2 of those. Whoops. No, that's correct. Wait. What? Oh. Apparently, yeah, we need 4 more circuits. And then 2 more of those. And then that's it. Perfect. There we go. Now, to charge this, you either need an MFSU, which I don't have. I have an MFE, and this, of course, being tier 4, doesn't go in here. But I can charge it in this. That was my scanner in there. This will pretty much charge anything that is IC2, but it is very slow. It doesn't have much output. Unfortunately, which is, I think, a pretty fair balance point. It's going to take quite a while, as you can see, to charge this up to full. So I will want an MFSU somewhere in my power system eventually, so I can charge this up a lot faster, and I mean a lot faster. But this will do for now. That'll have to sit in there. And this is, of course, where I'm going to end the episode. We've gone quite a bit over time because of this taking a little longer than I was hoping. But with that, I will see you in the next episode.